Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and in today's video I am talking to you about my 30-day makeup bag challenge. So I went on a challenge from the end of May up until the end of June and I successfully completed it. And I basically only allowed myself access to a limited amount of makeup that I would be able to use during that time period. The main two reasons why I did that was, number one, I wanted to just see if I could live with less. And I also just really wanted to see how would my ideal collection actually look like in my everyday makeup drawer. I felt really overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that was in there. There was just a lot of rummaging around. It was not visually appealing. When I opened my makeup drawer, I wanted to see something that sparks joy. A little interruption to say that I had initially planned to put everything into one video, but then I quickly realized this was going to be a really long one. So you are, of course, watching part 2 today. There is a part 1. I'm going to link that up here in the cards. If you're wanting to see more about the whole setup of everything, how I went through it in chronological order, you get to see part 1, where I set up this entire experiment, show you the products that I've included and whatnot. And then now we're going to get into the juicy stuff of like all the revelations. If you watch part 1, you already know that I had included a few items, more than that, 13 items in a clothes swap, and I just wanted to reveal what got picked up. Did I pick up anything? That kind of thing. And then right at the end of the video, I'm also going into the weight differences because I did track that. So you will see the weight difference between the beginning of this challenge and the end. And I think it's really fun. I love geeking out on numbers like that. I will also share my average usage per product and total amount of powder eyeshadow used. Yes. All right, I'm gonna let you get back into the rest of the video now. Thank you so much for watching. I found out, number one, that I'm really quite happy with the capsule collection. Even nail polish, I always thought that polishes, I just want and crave that variety. I think I've learned that I don't. So yeah, this challenge really helped me to learn something different about myself and my preferences. I've also discovered that I really enjoy panning looks. I'm kind of surprised by that. I think having a little bit less available, it really helped me to figure out what suits me and what do I gravitate towards. And I think that's obviously really fun and helpful for when you're trying to finish stuff. So I've rediscovered brown shimmers and taupes on me. I think most of my palettes are probably really, really colorful. I don't have a lot of neutral color stories in my eyeshadow palettes collection, but I'm okay with that because I know I can franken, and I've started to go into that since coming off this challenge again, since having access to all of my eyeshadows again. You definitely see more about this in my Pan That Palette update. During this time, I guess that's the big elephant in the room, I didn't miss my makeup. I didn't miss my, and I think throughout this video, I'm referring to it as like backup stash, even though they're not actual replicas or dupes or the actual same product in backup. I do have that here and there, but if I have more than 2 blushes, then blush number 3, 4, 5, etc., they're all backups. That's how I see it now. So that's been helping me as well as a reframe. And that obviously meant that because I was working on fewer items over these 30 days, I really saw some amazing progress, and that really motivated me and spurred me on to keep going and to also not be tempted to buy new things. So yeah, I feel like that's been a success. I've been on a no-buy for certain categories for a long time, over 18 months. Yeah, 20 months now. And then on a low buy for other categories for about a year. I'm not even sure, to be honest. Yes, it's all the work I put into it before, but also these 30 days help with that. I think that now going forward, I would still like to continue to pan my way through my collection, and once I have reached certain goal numbers, you know exactly what they are if you're watching my No Buy Project Pan regularly. I'm going to link the playlist up here. Yeah, that's where I talk about what specific goal numbers I've got for each makeup category, but I'm just so happy to continue to pan my way through everything. And then of course, I'm also really excited about in the future hitting my goal numbers across these categories and then being able to purchase one new thing. But I would like it to be something that feels really special, and that's not just something that I bought on impulse. Just so you know, in case you're new here, so I don't shop online. I don't love online shopping. I know I'm probably one of the very few who doesn't. It's not appealing to me. I'm a very tactile person, and I want to just see the thing in reality, and I want to be able to touch it, test it out, play with it, see the colors and all of that before I make a purchase. But that means for me in the past, walking into my local drugstore because it's in walking distance from my house. So I'd just be buying like a lot of drugstore stuff, basically, just to sort of fill a void. Whenever I thought about my collection in terms of, oh, what would be like my holy grail items and which items could I happily pass on or declutter, I found that really hard because for various reasons that I always go into in these videos. I don't want to be wasteful with my products, a bit of an eco warrior here and there. Declutters of makeup are super tough for me. I do them a little bit here and there if something has gone bad, or if I can pass them on to someone who I know will love it, then yeah, happy to do that. But I'm never gonna do one of those massive declutters. Obviously, everyone's makeup preferences are different, everyone shops differently, everyone uses different items, and even if we all had the same items, we would still be using them differently. Every single one of us is so unique. So if you're listening to this and you're sort of interested, thinking, maybe I should try something like that, then I think definitely go for it. I think, what did I write here? A challenge like this helps you to figure out what you actually like and want. It pairs well with a no-buy or a low-buy. Also, there's no right or wrong way of doing this experiment. You set your own rules, you know. I decided, okay, 30 days, I think I picked 27 items, including eyeshadow palettes and nail polishes, mostly one item per category, but for probably just about half of them, more than one item per category. But there were certain things that were missing, like I didn't include a setting spray. I would have really wanted one, but oh well, it was fine. I allowed myself towards the beginning of the challenge to do a quick fire declutter to figure out what I might be bringing to a clothes swap. So, you know, you can decide what you want to call it. Do you want to do it for maybe just 3 weeks, maybe a whole year? What do you want to include? What do you not want to include? I would say though, try to push yourself out of your comfort zone. It's really useful to help you to see what your collection would visually, physically look like if you only had like your favorite few things here and there, or you were only focusing on those few products that you really want to see progress on and that you would like to move out of your collection for whatever reason. So yeah, just give it a bash, I would say, and like, you know, you make your own rules for it. You actually do get to see though what it would look like, in your drawer, in your day-to-day, in your makeup application, in terms of, you know, if it's 1 month, then you can see it for like the day-to-day, the regular stuff, maybe what you would be wearing for a night out or some celebration, you know, different events might be in there, so you could really test out what have I got going on here and how can I be creative to use what I have available to me right here, and basically find new ways of multitasking your products as well. Even though I was procrastinating over it, and you will see that later on, it was daunting, but once I did it, it was actually really quick. I knew that none of these things were actually leaving my collection. It was just a temporary declutter. Or rather, it's like picking stuff out when you're traveling and getting your travel stash ready, but taking, for me, yeah, probably very similar to that, but just more eyeshadow palettes. So it made it like more fun, because I tend to get bored after, you know, towards the end of the trip, like, kind of lame. I think that's more to do though with how it's presented. So for me, the visual of what my makeup drawer looks like now is so lovely, and I'm so happy and pleased with that. If I compare that to my shoddy makeup, no, it's a lovely one, but like if I compare that to my makeup bag when I'm on holiday, it's not like I take everything out and display it and make it look beautiful so that I'm enticed to using my stash while I'm away every day. I should be doing that probably. It would be worth it. But yeah, a little side note here. But yeah, it just felt easier and right. because it was not a permanent thing. I wasn't sending anything into the bin. It was just, okay, let me pick out my favorite things for 30 days and that's it, and see what I learn about myself. So if I were to do this again, I'd probably only do 3 weeks rather than 4 and a bit. I think after 21 days, there wasn't any new insights, downloads that I was having anymore. I feel like I learned the bulk of what I needed to learn, or probably all of it, during those first 21 days. I did, however, make really nice progress in those final 9 days after those 21 days. And that was really good. Actually, let me give you some highlights here, because I did write that down. Okay, so on day 8, I hit a pan in my Pan That palette. On day 15, I finished a lipstick. On day 18, I hit 2 pans and I finished a face powder. On day 19, just the day after, I hit another 2 pans. That was wicked. I was so pleased with myself. I don't think I've ever hit 4 pans in 2 days. And then on day 24, I finished a lip pencil, and on day 30, I finished an eyeshadow. So yeah, if I'd cut that short after 21 days, I wouldn't have finished the lip pencil or the eyeshadow, but yeah, of course, I would have kept going. Am I still hitting all goals now? Yeah, kind of. So I wrote here, after those 21 days, nothing new revealed itself, no new insights, but I really, really, really missed my eyeshadows. That was the main thing. What this challenge also helped me with was to reassess all of my eyeshadow projects. I'm not ditching any projects whatsoever. In fact, I'm starting a new one, but everything, because of the 1 week, 1 video cycle that I've got going on now, most of my projects will be updated bi-monthly. Yeah, the new one I'm starting is Pan Include, by the way. I've started doing it now, but you're just gonna get the intro plus update 1 in one go, maybe even update 2, we'll see. I think my main focus before was probably to try and hit as many pans as possible. Just sort of do a little bit of everything. Yes, also finished my Pan That palette. I had 3 Pan That palettes, 5 shadows in Pan That eyeshadows, 20 eyeshadows in Duty Pan My Battership, like a lot going on, a lot of other projects. But now my focus has shifted and my main project is Pan That palette. I am loving it. I'm making such good progress on my Pan That palette now that I've just decided I'm only going to do 1 and I'm going to bring in extra shades. Little spoiler for my next PTB update. I'm just going to bring in extra shades from other palettes here and there. But this is the biggest thing. I now finally again, I'm considering my entire eyeshadow collection as one, so that making progress and me dipping into other eyeshadows that are not in projects still feels to me satisfying, which it didn't for a long time. In 2023, I didn't use any eyeshadows until after Christmas. Let's say for 360 days in 2023, I only used eyeshadows, only, religiously, the ones in projects. What's the point of that? Yeah, anyway, okay. So yeah, no, my focus has shifted to Pan That palette. I really just want to try and move through stuff, palettes, eyeshadows, get them out of my collection, and then have all of these other projects help me to achieve that. So I want to make sure that it's not just, oh, I don't want to double anything up that I've already got in my Pan That palette when I'm doing randomization for PTE, for example, but instead to actually pick something out that I know will help me to move through my Pan That palette faster. So that's a new reframe for me. Yeah, obviously already said that it really helped with the progress, especially for my Nobel Project pan as well, and overall panning my collection. I hit 5 new pans, I finished 1 eyeshadow, and I finished 3 makeup products, and I decluttered a mascara, so cool. I also realized I don't need highlighter. I didn't put one in, didn't miss it. But I'm very happy to continue to pan the highlighters that I've got, franken them. We'll see what happens. I'll definitely work through them. I quite missed having a fixing spray. I did say that already. Oh well, I've only got one. Yeah, it would have been handy here and there to use it, but oh well, it was fun. I totally survived, you know. And I also realized that I still don't really know what my ideal collection looks like. And I think this will always change because we change. You know, we grow up, we go through different seasons, not just seasons of the year, but seasons of life. And yeah, I just don't know. But I feel like I'm closer now more than ever. So that feels really good. Final page of my notes. Okay, some good ones. What helped me to stay motivated? First, number one thing, seeing progress. Seeing the progress during those 30 days felt like it was faster and more effective than what I was doing before. Also, it helped that I was really content with what I had put into my selection of these items. I put here about 80-20, so yeah, the majority of it I was really happy with, and maybe 10-20% of it I was just happy to pan it, but wouldn't repurchase, if that makes sense. Also, what helped me to stay motivated was going and watching a whole ton of really old Pan That Palette content, mainly from Amber F and Jessica Lee. I found it really inspiring, motivating just to see someone go through their eyeshadows quickly. Yeah, that was really good. It helped me with my reshift, and I think I watched it at the right time. Also, I already said it, seeing a tidier and more beautiful makeup drawer really helped me as well. And then also I knew that I kind of get like competitive with myself, where I know that if I stick to a challenge, it just gives you a confidence boost, you know. How many challenges have we all started? I know I'm really good at that. And then not finished. Yeah. Already said this point, I now see my eyeshadow collection as a whole instead of hyper-focusing on shades that are in projects. And yeah, PTP is now my main focus, and it was helping me with my Nova as well. Okay, that's it. Let's get into it. Yesterday was day 30. I have completed my 30-day makeup bag challenge. I'm so happy, so excited. So what you're seeing here is my drawer and what it currently looks like, my everyday makeup drawer, all the things that I have had access to over the past month. And as you can see, everything looks a little bit different to how it used to look before. I tried to just make it look more appealing to me and also have it all sorted in a way where I can easily find things and it's not just all crammed into this one tiny box here, and then there's like eyeshadow palettes in the rest of the drawer. I do have my eyeshadow palettes here in the back. You won't be able to see that because this drawer doesn't pull out any further than this. I want to show you what the rest of my makeup drawer looks like. So in here, you've got my beloved scales that I inherited from a neighbor. And then all of my eyeshadow palettes, apart from a few that are sort of, you know, quince quartets that I've got in a separate drawer somewhere else. And all of my nail polishes. I think I'm gonna do sort of like a shop my stash situation where I pull out things here and I might swap out a few bits, certainly nail polishes and palettes and a few other things from here as well. And then I think I'm gonna carry on with this kind of setup. I'm enjoying it. It took me a little bit to get used to it because the advantage of having everything in this box is that if I want to do my makeup elsewhere in the house, I can just grab this out, grab my mirror, and I'm good to go. And like, you know, put a couple of palettes on top. Whereas now there are 4 containers here, and trying to pack that all up really quickly when I wanted to do my makeup at the dining table, it was a bit of a hassle. Alright, here's everything apart from eyeshadow palettes and nail polishes. So, something I'm taking out is this iconic London triple threat mascara. I don't want to use this anymore. I've had this open for 4 or 5 months. It's completely dried up. It was always very dry to begin with. I did really enjoy the wand, I have to say. But yeah, I think it's ready to be recycled. So that's gonna leave my collection. I've also had a lip liner empty. This was the NYX lip pencil in pale pink, and it's an empty. I can't really apply that anymore without scratching my lips, and I can't sharpen it anymore. It's too small for that. I had some other empties. Actually, yeah. So I finished a face powder. You would have seen that in my No Buy Project Pan update. And I put this one in here. I'm holding it upside down. It's so reflective. This is the PS My Perfect Color Foundation Pressed Powder in Nougat. And I had to roll this in to replace it. I really enjoy this one. I think I might want to try out a different one. I'm wondering whether to swap it out for the Lottie London. No, I'm going to stick with this one. I think this is serving me well right now. MAC Single for my eyebrows, sticking with that. This is my concocted tinted lip balm. I've got such a huge pan on here now. I think I'm going to try to finish this rather than mix something else in there. Make it bigger again. Yeah, I think I've got a much better chance of hitting my goal number in my lip category if I try and finish this one. So yeah, this one is staying. Although, okay, I've been using this with this was a replacement lip product that came in because I finished a other lipstick, the NARS lipstick, yeah. So here's where I am with that. There's a lot here. It's one of my 24 and 2024 items, so I would like to finish it this year. This is the Revolution Velvet Kiss in Lip Crayon in Decadence. So I kind of want to continue with this, but I want to see if there's, I think I'm going to add in a lip gloss by Note. Oh, let me find that. I can do that now. Here's my little lip stash that I didn't have access to. So, okay, I think I'm going to add this one in. Why don't I swatch that? Yeah, okay, let's try that. Here's a swatch of the tinted lip balm. And then the crayon. And now the Note Mineral Lip Gloss in Coraline. I'm going to put that here, yeah, why not? It's very, very glossy. Okay, those are the three. Let me see if I can just mix them together. I just want to see what color shows up. I think I could try that out. Yeah, that might be really nice and sort of tone down the intensity of the red lip crayon. Happy with this mascara? Happy-ish. I won't repurchase this, even though I have probably bought this again. I mean, this is probably the third or fourth replacement of this, but yeah, it's not my holy grail anymore. I've got other mascaras that I can work on for now and see if I can find a new holy grail. But yeah, this is staying in. I would like to use it up to the 6 months. Huda Beauty concealer. I'm going to stick with this one as well. I have got great progress. I can finally see windowing on here. I hope you can see that as well. So pleased with that. I've been using this lately with the new drops mixed together. I really like that because I'm only using such a small amount, like one teeny tiny bit of this, and then maybe 2, not even drops, just dabs of whatever is on the wand. And I use it very sparingly under my eyes and just in other parts of my face where I need like a tiny bit of light coverage. And that's it. And I love that for summer. So I think that's why the progress on this has increased. With these two, the e.l.f., this is the smaller one of the two. And yeah, I'm going to continue with this one. And I'm also going to continue with this one. This is Bronze Metal. Oh, careful. It's a bit wobbly in there. I just broke that. I just stuffed it back in. I'm hoping it will still work. I think so. Maybe once it gets a bit smaller, closer to where it broke off, I might have to decant it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. These two eye pencils I'm also going to keep in. Yeah, LA Girl Perfect Precision Eyeliner in Deep Purple. And this is a Black Coal by Revolution. I'm going to continue with these two as well. So no changes here. The Single by Kiko, I'm definitely going to keep in. I have been using this as a blush quite a few times. I really like it like that. I'm going to keep that in, yes. We already spoke about this one. I'm happy with this bronzer. It's a Franken in this Sizzly one. I'm really happy with the bronzer. Franken, 1 dab per cheek perfect. I love it. Yeah, definitely keeping this one in. And then finally, this is the Makeup Revolution Super Dewy Liquid Blush in You Had Me at First Blush. I am struggling with this. Let me show you. I'm trying to squeeze something out, how difficult that is. Oh, it's annoying. And then you have to like do that, put it on your finger, you know. It's just so much faff. It's pretty. Oh wow, look at that. It's pretty. Shows up a little bit in the creases of my skin. I have noticed that as well, doing that on my face. I'm not into that. I do want to pan it though this year. It's also a deck of panning, as I'm sure I've mentioned plenty of times already. I have an idea. I want to franken this. So this is the Vive Skin Dew Glow Multitasker. I am trying to pan this year as well. Let me show you. I'm not sure about the consistency of it. It's very oily. And it's almost empty. Maybe there's like a quarter of it left in here. I think I could maybe mix these two together, franken them. I know they're like different consistency, but maybe I can make it work. Let's see how that would look together. Oh, but I like that. Yeah, I think I'm hoping this would help me to get through both of these products faster. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try that. Ooh. I'm also going to put in my Tower 28 blush. It's actually a blush and lip balm, lip tint. And this packaging is broken. What a pity. I really wanted to repurpose this. I'm wondering whether I could get another one. I'm trying to finish this year, by the way. I wonder if I can use this faster if I use it on my lips. Let's see. I should have done it on the other side. It's kind of deep, but it does sheer out. I'm gonna play around with this one. Yeah. Okay, so lip situate. I've got 4 lip products now. It's quite a lot, but it's more like an experiment because I'm trying to figure out a new combination now that I finished both the NYX lip liner and the NARS lipstick. Yeah, okay. That's that. Let's look at nail polishes next and eyeshadow palettes. Okay, here are the 3 polishes that I've used. Yeah, you can see this one here, right? That was from the Graveyard project pan that I filmed yesterday, and I just did a little swatch, and I thought I let myself off basically because it was the last day of the challenge to, you know, try out something new. So yeah, this nail polish that I've now put into Graveyard project pan, I'm going to roll that in. And that is the P2 Winter Glam in Magic Moments. Yeah, so this is coming in. I've really enjoyed wearing the Models On. That's a Franken. It's not a Models On, it's a Franken. 3 times I've used that. 3 times for this Franken as well. You can see I've got it on right now. And then also, and 2 uses for the Blackberry Franken shimmery one. I think I'm going to pull all of these out. Ooh, I'm not sure. Am I going to randomize again? No, I'm going to look at, I had other polishes and projects, didn't I? I think I'm going to pull this one in. It's also in a project, and yeah, I think I quite like it actually. And then I think I might pull a black one in. I pull in this Gucci one in Crystal Black. This is Kiko Milano, by the way. I just had to decant it because the brush broke off the original bottle. But yeah, I want to wear these 2 in combination. And I think I'm going to keep it at 3 polishes for now and just roll these ones out. I mean, technically, I could always, you know, if I'm going to an event and I want to match the nail polish to whatever outfit I'm wearing, I can just go into my stash now. But yeah, I'm gonna have these 3 as focus ones now in my makeup drawer. Okay, eyeshadow palettes. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go through and let you know how many times I've used each shade. Why don't we start? Yeah, I'm gonna give you the good stuff first. I'm gonna start with my Pan That palette. So this is like a mini in-between Pan That palette updates. I won't be posting another Pan That palette update until August actually. So yeah, consider this my unofficial July update. So Chaos was already done. Energy, I have hit pan That was 6 uses within this challenge. Spice, I have used a Franken, I've used 3 times. Charcoal, I've used once. Light Up, I haven't used. Heat, I've used once. Passion, I've used once. Fiery, I didn't use. Passion is a Franken. Blazing, I used once. These 2 were already empty. Scorching, I hit pan after 7 uses within this challenge. 8 uses on this shade in total. I finished heating up yesterday after 20 uses in this project. No, in this challenge. Flames I used twice. All or Nothing I used twice. And the Dark Side I used 7 times. I have got plans for this palette. I'm going to bring in this Catrice eyeshadow palette, Tropic Exotic here. It didn't get picked up at the cloth swap. I'm still going to go over those items separately, but yeah, spoiler. I would like to Franken Passion, because I don't really love this shade at all, and Franken it with this blue teal type of shimmer here. Okay, I'm going to swatch them on top of each other. Yeah, I just think that I can make like a really nice cool tone type shimmery brown out of this. And the shimmers of this teal are silver. No, gold. Silver and gold. They're not blue. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I've sort of, you know, this is on the chopping block anyway. So yeah, I do want to Franken these 2. Just make this like a more neutral color story. It's what I'm into lately. I think I'll be able to go through it a lot quicker that way. I also want to use Flames with this berry shade here and do like an all matte look. But I just want to see how that pairs together. I don't want to Franken anything. I just want to see if I can hit pan in Flames by combining it with this shade here. I also want to roll in the Natasha Denona Ayana palette and specifically work on this shade here. I've got this in my Graveyard Project pan and I'm trying to finish it. It's such a pretty shade. I think this all over the lid and then charcoal on the outer corner, but then heat on top. And because I do all of that on top of this shade, I think that could look really nice. I'm gonna try that, see if I can hit pan and heat and make some really good progress on the Ayana. It's Glam Green, by the way, this shade is called. It's very thin in there. I had to repress it. This one, Blazing, I think I'm going to continue with a specific look that I've got in mind with my Too Faced. That's my Jam palette. Here it is, and yeah, I like this one on the lid, this one on the outer corner, and then this one dabbed on top, the purple shimmer here. So I think I'm going to roll this one in as well, so I can just, again, make some really nice progress on Blazing here. Okay, there are obviously other shades that I've got in other projects. Pan those eyeshadows. Again, my next update for that will be going up in August. So I'm going to allow myself a little bit of time off. I don't want to overwhelm myself completely. Okay, so I'm rolling out, despite the fact that this is in Pan those eyeshadows, this is the I Heart Revolution Terry Please palette. I've got this shade in Pan those eyeshadows now. I hit a new pan in this project. Actually, let's go through the uses. I've got 1 use on this pink matte here, 1 use on the peach matte, 9 uses on the pink shimmer, 11 uses on the champagne shimmer in a corn highlight. That's what I was using it as. And 5 on this coral matte here. Anastasia Riviera. I am tempted to keep it in. No, I'm going to roll this out, but let me give you the uses. 9 uses on the shade Sails. 7 uses on the shade Seaside. 4 uses on Estate. 1 use on Cabana. 1 use on Monte Carlo. And 2 uses on Cannes. Then the Revolution Chill palette. I have got 7 uses on the shade Calm. 10 uses on the shade Sativa. This is in Duty Pan Matte Battleship. And I think I'm kind of close. 1 use on the shade Mist, 3 uses on Exhale. I'm going to keep this in because I think I can hit pan in Sativa quite quickly. How many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I do need to, yeah, I'm going to make 1 more swab. final palette that I've had in here, Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Utopia palette. I've used Sanctuary once, I've used Eden once, I used Zen once, I used Aurora 13 times, 6 uses in this challenge to hit pan, and Enchanted I used 12 times. Rolling this one out. I'm going to be rolling in a new palette, maybe 2 actually. Yeah, because there's still a couple of shades that I would like to make some progress on before my Expand Those Pans update. This is the XX Revolution Bare Luxe palette. Here's what it looks like, and I really want to still make some more progress on neutral here. That's this pink one here. It's a matte with a silver shimmer. It's just got a usage goal on that specific shade, so yeah, I'm keeping that one in. I don't find that too overwhelming, I think. And then the other palette for Expand Those Pans is my Revolution Pro New Neutral Luxe Shadow palette, and I'm trying to make progress on this shade here called Based. I'm going to be using that as a eyeshadow base because it's a creamy type of eyeshadow. And I've also got this shade Neutral here in Juji Pama Battleship, and this is really good for like brow bone, you know. Yeah, so I'm rolling this one in as well. That means I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Quickly went back up to 7 palettes after only, you know, using 5 over the past month, but I think I'm happy with that. And I know it's just for another week, and then I'll probably be rolling these 2 out for a little while again. And, you know, I can switch things up again. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay, before we move into the weight differences, I wanted to show you the results of the clothes swap. So if you watch part 1, you know, I put 13 items into a little pile and offered them to friends and friends of friends at the clothes swap in June. And yeah, let's see if anything got picked up. Did I pick anything up? And the answer is yes to both, but I'm down on my numbers. Okay, I'm gonna move through this really quickly. The 2 eyeshadow palettes did not get picked up. In fact, neither did these 3 liquid products. I'm very happy to continue to pan them. And that's also what I said in the previous video, that I wasn't too worried whether things would or would not get picked up. The 3 lip liners also didn't get picked up. So yeah, no one wanted that. But if you remember, I had put 5 nail polishes in and 4 of them did get picked up. So the only one I'm left with now from that selection is this Sabrina Rudnick one here in the color 571. So it's this sort of mother of pearl pink shimmer. Yeah, I might end up frankening it. We'll see. You'll find out in my Nobel Project pan. But then I also picked up 1 nail polish, and I think that's all right. I'm down 3. I gave away 4 and I picked up 1. This is the I Heart Revolution chocolate scented nail polish in icing sugar. It's definitely not chocolate scented anymore. Let me give it a little sniff. No, oof, no, just smells of nail polish. I tried this over 1 fingernail on top of an existing nail polish as like an accent type thing, and yeah, and I really liked it. So yeah, I'm very happy this has now joined my collection. From these 13 items, 4 got picked up, so I was down to 9, but I also picked up 1, so I'm down to 10. I'm very, very happy with that. I probably won't include these at my next clothes swap. I've started, I'll show you very quickly. I took 2 of the shades out that I knew I wasn't going to use anymore. So if you remember, there were these 2 teal shimmer shades, and I frankened them into neutrals. Happy with that. With these 3, I don't know. We'll see. I think I'll probably pan them myself, actually. With the lip liners, this is now a daily use item. As of today, I'm just changing my strategy slightly. This is a 24 and 2024 item. And then with these 2, I'm going to pan the purple MUA Intense Color Lip Liner in the shade Glam. This is powdered out in Mango Splash, by the way. And then the MAC High Energy has gone off. I'll talk about that in my Nobel Project pan. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, let's look at the weight differences now. So my first item is the Revolution Pore Blur Primer. At the start of this challenge, I was at 28.47 grams. And then on day 30, I was at 21.72 grams. That's a difference of 6.75 grams. Wow. The Catrice Nude Drop Tinted Serum, I was at 124.30 grams. At the end, I was at 120.64 grams, and that's a difference of 3.66 grams. Happy. For the Huda Beauty Concealer, I was at 27.90 grams at the start and then 26.97 grams at the end, which is a difference of 0.93 grams. That's almost 1 gram in 1 month. The Franken Revolution powder that was pressed into this thingy here, it started at 33.33 grams. At the end, I was at 32.56 grams. Not at the end of this challenge, but yeah, empty component. You know, I used it up halfway through. So that's a difference of 0.77 grams that I completely panned that were in here. My MAC single that I used for my brows was at 11.21 grams at the start and then down to 11.18 grams. And that's a difference of 0.03 grams. That's barely anything, but of course I used the tiniest amount. Then I've got these 2 shadow sticks here by e.l.f. The rose quartz one went from 12.93 grams down to 12.75, and that's a difference of 0.18 grams. And then the metal bronze one went from 13.89 grams to 13.79 grams, and that's a difference of 0.1 grams exactly. Moving on to the eye pencils, the Black Kohl by Revolution started at 2.63 grams and then went down to 2.33 grams. That's a difference of 0.3 grams. LA Girl in purple went from 3.63 grams to 3.44 grams, and that's a difference of 0.19 grams. So I use more of the black one than I do of the purple one, yeah. The black one is definitely more waxy than the purple. My Franken lip product started at 49.84 grams and went down to 49.48 grams, and that's a difference of 0.36 grams. The NARS lipstick was at 10.50 grams in the beginning, and then I used it up and it was 10.43 grams then, and that means I used up 0.07 grams worth of product until I called it quits. The NYX lip pencil in pale pink started off at 1.54 grams, and then when I completed it, it was at 1.41 grams, so that means I used 0.13 grams worth of product. A lot of that is just going to be sharpening it away, but yeah, for what it's worth. The Decluttered Iconic London Mascara went from 20.69 grams to 20.41 grams, so I used up 0.28 grams. The Revolution Big Lash Mascara started at 27.19 grams and then went down to 26.72, and that's a difference of 0.47 grams. My Franken Bronzer started at 67.06 grams and I went down to 66.83 grams, and that's a difference of 0.23 grams. The Revolution Super Dewy Blush started at 6.59 grams and I went down to 6.35 grams and used up 0.24 grams. I'm gonna give you 2 nail polishes. I only weighed 2 of them, not the last one, because I didn't pick them all out on the same day, but yeah, for what it's worth. My Franken pastel color here started off at 58.69 grams, went down to 57.91, and that means I used up 0.78 grams worth of product. And with this Franken Blackberry shade here, I went from 51.72 down to 51.16, so that means I used up 0.56 grams. Now I want to give you the eyeshadows, because I think that's really interesting. Okay, let's look at the Kiko single. Went from 15.26 grams to 15.18, and that's a difference of 0.08 grams. Really not a lot. Then the I Heart Revolution Cherry Please palette went from 56.29 grams to 56.07. And that's a difference of 0.22 grams. The ABH Riviera went from 191.69 grams to 191.49, and that's a difference of 0.20 grams. The Revolution Chilled palette went from 221.71 grams to 221.55 grams, and that's a difference of 0.16 grams. The Revolution Utopia went from 214.95 grams to 214.83 grams, and that's a difference of 0.12 grams. And then finally, the Kombucha Kiss by Revolution, my Pan That palette, went from 167.60 grams to 166.75 grams. So that means I used up 0.85 grams of product. Now I've looked at all of the eyeshadows, 5 palettes, 1 single, and the total amount of powdered eyeshadow I used was 1.63 grams. I'm really pleased with that. So that's probably the equivalent of 1 to 2 full pans worth of product. 1.5 maybe, you know. Say, yeah, on average they're usually around 1 gram. But then the shades in here are 0.73 grams each. So yeah, I used up more than 2 of an ABH Riviera shade, the equivalent of that. These are exactly 1 gram, so that would be like just over 1.5. Yeah. Make of that what you will, but it's just interesting to know that, okay, I can use this kind of amount of eyeshadow product in a month. Obviously that is considering that, you know, inner corner highlight, all over the lid shade, outer corner shade, etc, etc. I wouldn't be able to only use 1 eyeshadow, the same amount for just 1 eyeshadow, right? But yeah, if I was already working on 1 eyeshadow palette and I had everything that I needed in that, I could really be making an amazing amount of progress in a month. I find that kind of interesting. So across all of the items that I just showed you the weight difference for, the average is 0.74 grams worth of product used. And that is roughly the equivalent of what was left in here in this Alverde container that I had at the beginning of this challenge. The product where I used the most amount of stuff was the Revolution Pore Blur Primer, yeah. And the least amount of product was what was left in this NARS lipstick here, or the Kiko single actually. All right, I think it's time to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching the whole entire video, and maybe even you were already watching part 1. So thank you so much for being here. I'd love to know from you if you've ever done a challenge like this. What was it like for you? Or maybe you're thinking of doing this, and I'd love to know, what are your plans? How are you going to make it your own? How are you going to adapt the rules? What rules are there really? How are you going to make it fun and exciting and challenging for yourself as well? I'd love to know. And yeah, if there's anywhere where I can see that, maybe you're going to put it into a video or an Instagram post, let me know. Also, I think I should mention, I actually never ended up putting all of my palettes away. Obviously there was the whole system with the advent calendar. That was useful, but I think the way I am, it's not necessarily an issue for me. For example, my setting spray was out on my desk the entire time. So I saw it, but I never used it because I hadn't put it into this challenge. Similarly, there were a couple of bits in the bathroom, concealer, I think, and a stick foundation. I only realized like halfway through the challenge, like, oh my gosh, I should have really like put them away. I never did that. I did it at that point, but it literally made no difference. I'm quite good at restraining myself because I had set out, you know, I didn't want to ruin the experiment for myself basically. But yeah, I think maybe for some people that wouldn't have worked, seeing the things or not putting them away properly, you know. But yeah, I didn't touch them, I didn't look at them. Same thing for my eyeshadow drawer, didn't look at those. Yeah, so it worked out. But yeah, maybe just food for thought if that's something that you're thinking like, oh, how am I gonna move all of my stuff into a different area? Maybe you can just put like a post-it note on your drawer and say, do not touch me until 31st of August or whatever it is, you know. Yeah. Does it really matter? At the end of the day, like I said, you make your own rules. Make sure it works for you. And yeah, I hope you're going to learn a lot from it. I know you will. I know I've learned a lot from it as well. I know I'm going to change a few of the numbers in my No Bite Project Pan categories. You'll find out more about that in my next update, which I think is 2 weeks away from this video. Yeah. So yeah. Just gonna say, for me, truly less is more now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.